We talk to our customers all day long about what we do. It's nice and easy. But as soon as that red light comes on, as soon as we start recording, it's almost like your brain becomes detached and you have no knowledge about your speciality at all. Coming across as confident in front of camera gives your viewers the confidence that you know what you're talking about and that they should listen to you. So today I'm going to give you my top 3 tips of getting comfortable in front of camera. Are you ready to learn something new? Let me know by liking this video, and while you're down there, look across to the right and click that subscribe button as well. When you first start doing something new, are you great at it straight away? Have you ever picked up a guitar and it's instantly felt like Jimi Hendrix's spirit is just flowing through your fingers? Probably not. Then why do you expect it to be the same when talking in front of camera? Looking into a lens and talking coherently about a subject is a skill, and the great news is, like all skills, it can be learned. But I can hear you saying, I don't want to put out videos that just look terrible, it's going to be really bad for my business. And I agree, I don't want you to do that either. You wouldn't buy a guitar and then instantly book a gig down a local pub. You would practice in your room over and over again until you feel like you're ready to take it to the next level. Do the same with video. So how do you get started with practicing? Each day, grab your phone and record yourself. It doesn't have to be about anything in particular. If you want, it could even be about what you've had for breakfast, because this video isn't going to go anywhere. The idea is by doing this each day and doing it more and more, the more natural it will feel talking to a lens. And then once you've built up your confidence, you can knock it straight back down again by watching your videos back. By doing this, you're critiquing your videos, and each day you can improve on what you've done the day before until you are ready to put something out there into the world. If you really want to laugh, keep all your videos and then watch them back a few months later so you can really see how far you've come. For the next tip, planning, I'm going to stick with the musical theme. If you turned up for an audition without learning any of the songs, with the excuse, oh, I've listened to the tracks a couple of times, I'll just wing it, you'll get laughed out of the room. Well, if you don't plan before you shoot your video, prepare for terrible results. The very least that you should be doing is writing a bullet point list on all the topics that you want to cover. And if you're not very good at speaking off the cuff, you could also go ahead and write a full script. Actually, I'd recommend writing a full script for your videos, because then it makes it a lot easier to turn this content into blog posts. You don't have to follow your script exactly, but it's always good to have a base to work from. So for example, I've got a script stashed away down here, and I'm not going to read it line for line. What I'll do is read a couple of lines and then try and make it up as I go along. That way it comes across as a lot more natural and a lot more conversational. Once you have finished your script, leave it for a day. Come back to it with fresh eyes. That way you're soon going to notice bits that just don't sound or read right and bits that don't sound like you. I'd recommend doing at least 2 rounds of edits for each script. Lastly, once you've written your script, practice it, even if it's just reading it off a bit of paper. This is going to help you in 2 ways. Firstly, people tend to write differently to how they speak. So by reading it aloud, you'll soon notice the bits that just don't sound like you. Secondly, when that red recording light comes on and your mind just goes blank, you're going to have a much better chance of actually remembering what you're supposed to be talking about. My last tip goes back to the very first thing I said in this video. You talk to your customers all day long and in great depth about what you do. So when you start recording and your mind goes blank and you're starting to think, I really can't do this, remember that. You have spent years building up a great bank of knowledge about what you do, and you know what you are talking about. It may be tough at first, but try imagining that your camera is actually one of your customers, because guess what? The person watching the video could be one of your customers. Another good way to go about this is by answering a question, because sometimes that's just a little bit easier. So if you've got someone to help you, or there's someone holding the camera, get them to ask you a question and get them to quickly duck behind the camera and then you can talk directly to them. Sometimes that's just a bit of an easier way to get started. Everybody is different and there are many different techniques that you can try. But my top 3 tips for feeling comfortable in front of camera are: practice filming yourself every day so you can get used to talking to a lens. Write scripts and make sure you run them through. And lastly, when your mind goes blank when you start recording, imagine you are talking to one of your potential customers. If you're going to try one of these tips, make sure you give this video a like. If you've got any of your own techniques, make sure you leave them in the comments. And as always, subscribe and ring the bell to stay up to date with my weekly videos. The very least you should... It can be learnt. You just ruined a take, Hayley.